I'm your host, Jimmy Nelson, and today we are coming to you live from the Royal Oath Insurance Group right here in Clinton Township, Michigan. Big shout out to the entire team here. Royal Oath is more than just an insurance agent. They're your promise keepers. Whether it's auto, home, business, life, or health insurance, they're here to protect what matters to you most. You can check them out at royaloathinsurance.com or give them a call at 586-238-3535. And of course, today's episode is brought to you in part by our friends at Connextion, the CRM built for closers. If you're a real estate agent, entrepreneur, or small business owner looking to automate, follow up, and close more deals and stay top of mind, then Connextion is your secret weapon. Go to yourconnection.com and take control of your pipeline today. Now, whether you're tuning in live on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, or X, catching the replay on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, wherever you stream, we're glad you're here. Do me a favor, hit that like button, drop a comment, and share this with a friend, and make sure you're subscribed so you never miss an episode. All right, guys, let's get locked in. We've got a powerhouse show lined up today, and if you're in business or real estate or just building something big, this one is for you. Good morning, everybody. Welcome into the Elite Real Estate Podcast on another fabulous Friday morning, and super happy to be in studio today. I got a very special guest that's joining us here in a minute, and man, it's been a great ride for everything that's been going on with the show and all the stuff that you all don't see behind the scenes. But I'm going to bring on my next guest, and we are going to talk about systems, processes, how we're going to take care of those systems. Do you have a system? And we're also going to hit on, do we need more AI or do we need less AI with our system? So without further ado, I'm going to bring my man on, Justin Barton with Connextion. How are you, my friend?
Good morning, Jimmy. And
good morning.
How is 2026 starting off for you, my friend?
Oh man, things are good, brother. Things are good. We we're getting rolling here and getting some things moving, and 2026, it's here. Whether we wanted it to be here or not, it's here.
I was on a call yesterday, and I was like, "How was 2016 treating you?" I was living in the past, but it got me thinking about that. It's like only 10 short years ago, and look at how far we've came. All the stuff that we're going to talk about here today. Just we kind of wished we had it back then, and now we do. And let's figure out what to do with it, right?
Yeah, and you know what? It's a funny thing you bring that up, right? Like compared to 2016. I mean, it's literally only 10 years, right? Like it's 10 years. If we look at the grand scheme of things, it's only 10 years.
It's like 35. Yeah, it's only been 10,
Yeah, right. It seems like 35. It's maybe 9 because do we count 2020 or do we not count?
No, we skipped that year. I'm skipping as far as my age goes, so I get another year, and so does everyone else. Take it while you can.
It's a bonus year. Yeah, it's a bonus year. But no, like as far as technology goes, because you've been doing this for a while, right? And systems and processes and technology and all those kind of things. How fast have we gotten to where we are in the last 10 years?
And it's thinking about it, right? I've been in business since 2008, and in a different industry, different sector. But what happened was it was that the graph that they draw where you just start rolling, and all of a sudden it just goes up, right? So I feel like that we're in the the very top, but the buildup for that felt like really slow, in my opinion, from 2008 all the way up to even 2020, as far as the technology goes. And then once AI arrived, it's been around, but once it really started, arriving in like 2021, 2022, and getting more and more, advanced. I mean, let's just face it, like 3-4 short years ago, you went to, openai.com or whatever it was, and you went to the site and you're like, is this legit? And now it's ChatGPT, 5.2, 5.3, and it can do so many great things for you to where utilized effectively and efficiently, is really going to add a lot of value back to your, everyday life, and using it as a resource and as a tool. But the ramp up to me has been in the last, 36 months over that 10-year period.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like these hockey stick moments, right? Like it's here, it kind of goes, and then boom. And I feel
Google Sheets came out, right? When Google Sheets came out, we're like, oh my God, we don't have to worry about emailing Excel files to one another. We could just track it live. That was a big deal.
Yeah.
And now it's like, oh, you use Google Sheets. Okay. That's
Right.
cool. You know?
Yeah. You know, it is 2026, right?
Yeah. I mean, hey, I still got mine somewhere.
Yeah.
But
Yep. Yeah. It's, but no, and it does. It has these moments of these hockey stick moments where everything just kind of seems like, all right, I got it. I got it under control. I'm working. Now I got to learn a whole new thing.
well, that's where it can feel overwhelming, right? So to me, it's about kind of controlling that chaos. And you talked about it on your podcast, another podcast. You're on several, but the one just getting 1% better, right? So
Yeah.
it's a common theme, but it needs to be applied practically to where oh, I'm going to learn AI. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Like, you have great intentions. Let's just learn a prompt. Let's figure out what you want to do. So when we typically get started with that, it's like, let's update your LinkedIn or Facebook profile. Let's update your bio. Let's get that field tuned in with using AI, and then allow that to grow to where you're like, so it could do this. Yep. And then now all of a sudden you're building a baseline foundation of understanding for the AI itself, whatever platform you're on, Gemini, Gronk, ChatGPT, whichever.
Yeah. Yeah. And
all great.
They're all great. It's people ask me, like, I use chat a lot, and it's only because it's what I started with. So I'm most
Correct.
familiar with it, right? I don't know if one's better. People, it's kind of like a CRM, right? People, which is the best CRM, and I say it's whichever one you're going to use, right?
The one you're going to use.
My view has changed on that, though.
Well, we have that impact on people. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
Because we're not just a
CRM. Made my view on that a little bit different.
Well, and that's kind of like the goal that I had coming into this was, disrupting that a little bit, because when people are used to things a certain way, that doesn't always mean it's the best way still, right? It might have been a really good way, in 2016, right? But it doesn't mean it still is the best way now. And what happens is if we don't start to review and develop and critique and adjust and make improvements to things, we'll kind of just settle, because it's one less thing to have to worry about, right? Like when you go buy a car today, a lot of the features are the same from 10 years ago, but there's a lot of new ones too. And what we really want to look at is in a system of businesses is, the windows roll down, the AC turns on, the car starts, but it's like you don't have to hook your phone to it. It'll just connect, and then you got your Apple CarPlay wireless, right? So that's like, oh man, I used to have to try to program that thing, and no, not anymore, right? So those improvements, just like in your business, where you can connect and centralize all your communication, everything you're doing. And some people are like, no, I want it this way. It's like, okay, but you do realize in order to scale, you are going to have to then take these additional steps, because there's only one of you, right? And when there's only one of you, you want to be able to, scale that. And how you do that is with systems and processes.
Yeah. You bring up a really good point. There's an old story about this lady was cooking a ham, right?
Okay.
And she got the ham out, and her daughter was there, and her sister was there, and it was a holiday, and she cut each end of the ham off, and then put it in the pan to cook it. And the daughter said, "Why did you cut off the ends of the ham?" And she said, "I don't know." She looked at her sister and she said, "Why did we cut off the ends of the ham?" She goes, "I don't know. That's what Mom always did."
Right.
So then they called the mom and said, "Why did we cut off the ends of the ham?" And the mom said, "I don't know. That's what my mom always did." So they called the grandma, and she said, "Why did we cut off the ends of the ham?" The grandma said, "Because I didn't have a pan big enough when I was making the ham at the time to fit the ham in. So I had to cut the ends off to fit it in the pan that I had. That was the only pan I had."
Right. Completely unnecessary.
Except when she didn't have the pan big enough, so she cut the ends off, put it in there.
It was necessary then, but it's definitely not necessary now, right?
Yeah.
And so, but that's what happens is you come into an industry or you start a business, and you get advice from people, and it could be like, again, the grandmother thing, great advice. However, know the origin of that advice. Like,
Yeah.
I just went with it. Okay, well, that could work out.
Yeah.
But also, it's good to ask a couple questions,
Yeah.
and like, hey, how come we're doing it? Because the pan ain't big enough. So now it's like, oh, that's the only reason. Yep, only reason. Doesn't work with the flavor. Doesn't help the cooking time. It's just because this is what we got. So this is what we're going to use. We're going to make it work. And then now, and then as it goes to that exact point, like in your business, as your business grows and you get a bigger pan, stop cutting the ends off. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
keep more of what you have, right?
Ryan
Yeah.
said a bunch of stabilizers in that ham family.
Too many sometimes, Ryan. Too many. We got too many. Oh, that's awesome.
But it's true, and it is. But I think about when I have these conversations when I'm coaching agents, across the country.
Yeah.
This is how I was told to do it. Well, does it fit what you're doing now, or do you want to change it? Right? Like, obviously the blueprint's there and it's been written, and that's fine. But also, do you want to continue to do it that way? There is a better way, right?
Correct.
There is a different way.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And I think like limiting yourself or like false beliefs or however to say like, well, this is how it has to be done is like, well, you're just going to hold yourself back. And we don't want that. We want to be able to come in as a tech partner and be able to show you like, yeah, this might've been how you were doing it. And we become creatures of habit. We just do, like, it's just facts. Like we get what we're used to and we just go with it. And sometimes that's easier. Right. And sometimes it's okay too. Like it doesn't hurt anything, but do you want to grow? So if you had a business, let's just pick real estate, because that's a lot of people on this call about. If you're in real estate and you did 10 million last year, how are you going to get to 20? First of all, do you want to get to 20? And if you do, how are you going to get there? Well, you got to get a bigger pan.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you got to stop cutting the ends off, because that's where additional revenue comes in, additional food. Like, how many plates did you lose by cutting the ends off? You didn't need to, right? You don't need to do that right now. Yeah. We can help you grow your business and stabilize, but also you got to be willing to invest that time and, be a little bit aggressive, you know what I mean? But at the same time, be open-minded, right? And, allow that, to have I'll just make it plain. I think that not so much now, but in the past, 12 months, there's been a fear of AI, maybe a healthy fear, or some concerns. I mean, there was like 14 Terminator movies and a few other things, but so I get it. But at the end of the day, like embrace it, because it's just like your cell phone. It's just like a laptop. I mean, would we have thought? I mean, I don't even know. We probably could have done this 10 years ago, but it wouldn't have been as good with the technology, right? Live streaming, podcast, all that type of stuff 10 years ago, right? So, I mean, maybe we could have made it work, right? But also, making things work in your business will get you to things working better in your business, right? Like keeping things in your business where they are and saying, well, that's just what it is, and we'll just try to hopefully we can grow with it. No, take the risk, invest in yourself, invest in your business, and kind of continue down that path, and it will happen. Like sales is not science, it's math. Like it just is. The more you have coming in, the more you can do with, and the more improvements you can make.
Yeah. Oh, that's so true. And again, I want to if you're saying, all right, if I did 10 million in volume last year, how do I do 20 million this year? Right. Mm-hmm. Or if I just want to do 10 million again, I just want to get some control of my life back.
Well, that's fine too. So it's really going from 5 to 10. Yeah. Because we know that if you did the 10 million in volume last year, and there was probably some chaos that we could help reduce. So there's 3 things. I think only Amazon perfected these things, right? But it's like, save money, save time, and make money, right? If you can do all 3 of those things in your business or in a product line, you're gonna be very successful. Yeah. So in your business, you got to decide like, okay, I want to save time, I want to make money, and I want to save money. Typically, the first thing people go to is make money. It's the first thing they go to.
Yep.
Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. But at the end of the day, why is it that one? You know what I mean? Is saving money not as good as making money?
Right.
In some cases, it would be debatable. No, if we actually came into your business and you did the same let's say 10 million in revenue, but we were able to save you 40% in your expenses, it'd be like you doing 20 million in volume.
Yeah.
Right. But see, or back to your point, saving time. Right. So if you did 10 million in volume and we came in and saved time, and that equated to the same work, involvement that is typically producers use in a 4 to 5 million range, really. So now you did double, you did make more money, right? Because we saved time. So we can essentially use those. And last year we get these, we run reporting and all that stuff, and it's fine. But end of the year, I was observing 2025 with Connextion, and we literally completed over 8.5 million tasks for our clients.
Wow.
So I started to think, I was like, man, and I'm really not that style thinking. I really don't do a lot of thinking. There's some great thinkers out there. Yeah, I'm not one of them. I'm like, okay, let's just do it. Let's just see how it goes. Let's just make it work. But what I broke it down, because it's math, I do enjoy math. So I broke it down as like 8.5 million tasks. I'm like, what if each task was a minute? Just a minute, like 1 minute. Off each task, we saved our clients 1 minute. Came out to 16 years.
Wow.
When you break that number down, and it's like, okay, that's pretty cool. I kind of enjoy what I do more now, because I'm able to help people save that kind of time. But now how can we equate that into, well, we have to, those same results of those 8.5 million tasks, how much revenue did it help that business generate, streamline, and looking at the long run. The other thing is living in a world where, it's consistent, or it's very fast paced. I mean, I was talking with a client last night. I was like, you got about 30 seconds, 45 seconds on your video. That's it. They ain't 10 years ago again. We're going back 10 years ago where it's like, Steve, we did 225, man, 225, still a goal. Love it. But when we looked at that, goal that we have for businesses, it's like, okay, so, if we're able to, help them grow and complete those tasks and save time, like what did that equate to as far as, revenue generating back to their business? And then living in the instant world that we're living in, right? It's like, I was talking to a client, and you got like 30, 45 seconds on a video, where 10 years ago, a 5-minute video was like, okay, that's cool. But it ain't happening today, Jimmy. It's just not happening. It's not coming back either. Now, I hope it doesn't get any less, because I on the sales presentation side, I don't know if we can deliver a pitch in under 11 seconds. I just don't know. I mean, have it make sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, make more money, click here. I don't know. I think that's all we'll have. In 30 to 45 seconds, it's really put a lot of people to the test. And how are you delivering your pitch? Because you'll see the drop off in people from, 45 seconds to 90 seconds in a video. And, that kind of leads us back to allowing AI to help you craft that message that's going to be an advocate for you, and to deliver that message. And then sometimes, in a lot of cases, what we have to do is we have to get a little more tactful, and we have to take that 5-minute video, and we have to start to break it up into, let's say 5 90-second videos, or 5 60-second videos, right? And help deliver those clips in a pathway to help people, succeed with their business, whether it's to get people to take action, or, sign a listing agreement, or, help them make a decision on buying a house, or, buying your product, all that's like a journey, right?
Right. And, it's crazy because, it's you got to have the hook, right? Then you got to have if you get the hook right, then, but to your point, it's like, what do we say? Like 7 seconds into the video, if it's not hooked, they're out, right? Like,
the hook's got to happen in the first 7 seconds, and it's got to be, hey, did you hear what happened last night?
Yeah.
I mean, we have to think out of the box a little bit. Like, oh my God, did you see what, and I mean, you got to use a little bit of catchy stuff in your business, or, just deliver a high value, proposition to people, or back that up by, authority in that space. So there's so many people out there. Like, again, I don't claim to do, say, oh, we do millions of tasks. No, we did 8.5 million. We're going to do more than that this year of tasks completed for our clients. So if you would like to have, a portion of your tasks, handled, we can help you facilitate that because we've done it successfully 8.5 million times.
Right.
You know,
And when you say that, so what are Connextion? I know what they are, but what are some of the things, right, that help us? Like, if for me, it's getting like Calendly, all that stuff I don't need. That's all inside of Connextion. Like, I don't have to go out and get all these other extra add-on things because they're
right.
already in there. So that's one thing, right? It saved me a little money, right? I don't
Yeah.
have to buy all these other systems and things, right?
Mhm.
The other cool part is, I'm gonna let you expound on this a little bit, but what's inside of there that helps agents like streamline their business?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, and so
And I
remember
know you
there
got
was
to narrow it down a little bit, right?
well, yeah, there's a lot, but no, to your point. So, because of what we're familiar with, what tends to happen is what we don't know, we don't know. So you're like, oh, I didn't know that was happening. No big deal. Where now, when you have the one thing that helps people, I feel the most as a business owner, is a centralized communication, a centralized inbox. I used to call it cross-platforming, meaning I have a customer that has my Facebook Messenger, my cell phone for calling me and texting me, my email, my Instagram DM, and they're messaging me on these different platforms, different questions, and I'm trying to keep up with the conversation. Like, yeah, they did. I remember they mentioned that, but where was that at? Like, where, like, I can't find it in my email, or I can't find it in the text thread. Oh, they sent me through Facebook Messenger, right? Where one of the key components with Connextion is no matter how your client messages you, it's going to go into a centralized inbox, whether it's
Mm,
email, text message, Facebook, Instagram DM, using the ManyChat feature of people engaging on your social media, and then it's done. And then also inside that centralized inbox, you're going to be able to see that journey, which is even more important. Where are they at in my pipeline? Where are they at with the opportunity? Did they complete this step? Are they nurturing? Are we showing them houses? Are we, all that's in one centralized location for them to either see the notes, see the listing activity, maybe the IDX activity, I should say. So that's the main screen for them, is like having one centralized location for the contact information, the inbox, and then everything that's been going on with that client, and then on the mobile side too, to where it's a click and they can see it right then and there. Now there is a learning portion, but again, if you're telling me you're going to help me save time, save money, and more importantly, make more money, then I'm going to invest in myself, and I'm going to take that learning journey right now. And that's another piece that we help clients with, is we take them down that series of success calls, and we show them how to use the system. They don't have to figure it out on their own. Some people like to do that. I don't. Just like some people read books, I'm more of an Audible guy. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
that's fine. How do you learn, right? Are you a visual person? Do we need to send you a video? Do we need to take you through a tour and go from there, right? So that's what's beneficial on that end for centralizing, your business and helping you grow and scale, is that everything is centralized for you.
Yeah, that's one of the most impressive things that my experience has been with Connextion, is the success calls, right? And the ability to just like jump on a phone call, I'll jot stuff down as I'm going through the week,
Yeah.
as I'm using the system, right? And then when we meet, I just go, hey, here's like my 3 things that I'm struggling with, or I need help with, or whatever. And typically it's like, oh, just do this, this, and that. I'm like, oh,
Typically, yeah. Yeah,
okay.
we might have to rephrase our success calls, because I think some clients are like, okay, well, now that I feel I'm a little bit embarrassed. No,
Yeah.
I'm kidding. But that's what we want, though. We want our clients to feel safe, to be able to have a tech partner that they don't have to, they're not going to IKEA to build a CRM here. Okay.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, no, we have a business in a box solution for you. Now, if you want it tailored, you want it customized, you want it advanced. I mean, I hear someone's, launching a community called the Elite Edge Network Community. It's going to be, the best community out there for, all the real estate agents to take advantage of that. And, that's something that is, brings a lot of people back, information, good content, resources, and all in one central location for them as well.
That's right. Yeah, and Brian says, "Morning, fellas. Ty and I are watching. So morning, guys. Brian, Royal Oath Insurance, where I'm sitting right now, in studio at the Royal Oath Insurance office, and there. So, but it's because here's the problem that we all face, and we talked about this kind of at the beginning, and to bring it back is we get into this business, right? Whether it's real estate or any other entrepreneur type sales, it doesn't matter. It could be insurance, right? Like Brian just mentioned. It could be anything, right? Your city work, whatever it is, and you own a business, a small business owner, and again, we're tight on funds. We don't have a lot of money to spend. Everybody thinks we have a lot of money to spend, but we don't. And we're tight on funds. How can I? Because here's what happens, and this is where I was going with the AI piece too, is we miss out on the part of we start to feel guilty when we're not working because we feel like we should be working, and then we're spending time with our family. But while we're with our family, our friends, doing stuff we like to do, we have this guilt in the back of our head saying, I should be working more.
Right.
And then when we're working more, we have this guilt of I should be spending more time doing something other than working all the time.
Right. And then we develop slogans like work-life balance and a few other things. And what I mean? And really what it comes down to is if you chose to be a solopreneur, a business owner, then you chose to get on a roller coaster where there's ups and downs, there's different speeds, there's different momentums. And at the end of the day, a couple things need to be, addressed. So when I get on a roller coaster, I'll make sure, okay, I'm not going to fall off this thing. Right. Number two, at the end of the ride, we should end up kind of like where we started, like, the same kind of path here. And so, but to kind of go down this and to say like, well, how can we make this better? Well, yeah, there's improvements to make. So what I recommend is if you have to identify what you, let's just say, are not good at.
100%.
Or as I like to say, stuff I don't like to do. Because that's really what that is. If you took the leap to be an entrepreneur, it's not that you're not good at it. It's like you don't like doing it.
Right.
Because there's a big difference. You know what I mean? Because you're good at anything you want to be good at doing. That's how you became an entrepreneur, business owner. Like, and nothing against those that are not, but that's one of the key separations is you took that step and said, I'm going to do this. Okay. And so now the identification piece comes in to say, what don't you like to do? I don't like to do paperwork. Okay. In real estate, it's called a transaction coordinator. They love to do paperwork. That's part of your operational budget. So the other thing is money is subjective. Like you don't have enough money or you have too much of it, or, either one can be bad. Kind of like if you worked at a grocery store, when you balance the cash register, if it's off, we got more money or we got less money, both are bad. So what's happening is inconsistencies in your business, meaning, we're making a lot of money. Well, what are we doing with the money we're making? Are we identifying the key points to like, where is that money coming from? What source is it coming from? And sometimes it takes a little while to dial in because there's moving parts, but I bought leads. I did this. Okay. Well, that could be just, is that consistent or is that something that just happened? Right. Did those just convert, or do you have a system in place to say, like, if I give Facebook X, they give me back Y and equals Z? So with AI, utilizing AI effectively is going to be to help identify in your business, in your life, what you don't like to do, right? So you can have AI be an analyzer to you and say like, okay, analyze me and ask me questions that lead to the things that I am good at / like to do, and the things that I'm not good at and don't like to do. And then keep that conversation flowing and get those results, review those results and answer them, effectively and say, okay, well, I'm not good at paperwork. I don't like to do paperwork. I'm great at sales. I can go to a sales meeting. I can close a listing. I win a listing, but I don't want to deal with anything else. I want to just deal with my client conversations and, winning the listing. Okay. So that means that there's 14 other parts that you have to now either say, I can hire that out, okay, on a transaction coordinator, or B, I need to get better at it because I can't afford it, right?
Yeah.
But the other thing is you have to evaluate, can you truly not afford it, or is that just a mindset? Because here's what we know. If you're going to invest in something, invest in yourself first.
Yep.
Okay. A lot of clients come to us and they're talking like, oh, I'm like, okay, hold on 1 second. Hold on. Invest in yourself first. Invest in a system that's going to help you, because now when we make the other investment, it's like if we went out and bought real estate today with our last dollar in our bank account, that's not the best decision.
Right.
You got to build up to that, because now you can then invest in the real estate and be like, okay, that if that money does or doesn't come in, it's not going to affect me, right? I'm going to be fine. I'll be better when it comes in, but I'll be fine if it doesn't, right? So the same thing in your business. If you're not fine, nothing else around you will be fine. And then what will happen is you'll give a platform your last $10 to hopefully generate, and then you'll be like lead stressed, right? Like, oh, we gotta close this deal, and then hopefully they want to buy right now or whatever. And so really, let's analyze your business, identify those areas of strengths, weakness, and opportunities in the whole SWOT analysis thing. But at the end of the day, it's really about now being, applying that. Are you going to apply that practically into your business? And that's really the toughest part, is the application portion. And so now lead into that with AI, like how can I effectively apply these, knowing what I'm good at and what I'm not, really not good at. How can I apply these effectively into my day-to-day so that I won't be overwhelmed, and allow that, AI to assist you in that growth and development.
Yeah. You brought up something very important through this whole thing. And again, everything's important, but we talked, but it kind of hit on it a little bit earlier. Now it's come back again. So it's very important because it come back again.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah.
One thing I found with AI right now, everybody's got this AI like sparkle in their eye, and everybody's like, oh my God, I need AI. I need it. I need it. Now it went from like, oh my God, I don't want it, to I need it. Right. But what I found, and again, this is through processes of myself, right, working with other agents, other entrepreneurs, and the idea of, if I'm operating in chaos already, right? If I'm operating in, I'm just flying by the seat of my pants, everything's great, everything's awesome, oh my gosh, this is great, and I plug AI into that, it just amplifies the chaos.
Correct.
It doesn't fix it. Right.
Nope.
And so that's one of the things that I've really worked on. And you and I have had this conversation about the Elite Edge Network too, is that piece of, if I'm operating, like we have to fix the operator before we give him more tools. Right.
Yes.
If it was my first day as a carpenter, then I've never done carpentry work before.
Yeah, you're not hanging cabinets, man. It's not.
No, you wouldn't hand me a pneumatic nailer. You know what I mean?
Nope.
Like, he wouldn't be like, "Here's this." Like, I'd shoot my hand, right? I don't know what I would do.
Well, and
so
some carpenters would find that funny, but in a lot of cases,
yeah. But to your point, here's this. And so now you have this tool of Connextion. You have this robust thing, and if you were just to hand that over to someone, they would kind of like poke it and be like, what does this thing do?
Right. Well, they could cause harm to themselves and others. Okay.
Right.
So,
right.
So yeah, you don't hand the nailer. You're like, okay, you can barely use a hammer yet. It's okay. Now, but to that point is when you have an individual that's new to AI, never done AI, it's almost like they were against the cell phone, and now you gave them an iPhone 16 or whatever the number is, right? It's like, oh, okay, there's gonna be okay. Hold on a second. Like, is there an iPhone 8 laying around somewhere? Is there, what I mean? Can we just start off small?
Got a flip phone.
Yeah, is there a flip phone? Can we start with a flip phone? I think they still make those. But anyway, so to that same point, you have to get unstuck in your business, right? You have to be able to, and what does that look like? Everyone can say, "Oh, just get unstuck." Like, well, just picture it like, okay, you're struggling with this. Or you're struggling with that, you don't know what to do. So you got to basically, to get unstuck, is you got to clear out that and just start at one thing. One thing. That's it. That's not two. That'll be harder for you than figuring out all your problems, is just starting with one conquer that problem, say, okay, so now we got that, next problem, boom, next problem, next problem. And all of a sudden, you will get unstuck in your business because you started with the lowest hanging fruit possible. Like, okay, what's the first thing you do? Well, call AAA. Okay, I don't know what, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, just, like call someone, okay, and then let them come and help you, okay? Allow that to happen, get unstuck. Don't think that they're going to stay there to help you forever because they're just going to pull you out and leave, right? But now when you get pulled out and you identify your 2 or 3 problems, now use that same tool and say, okay, how can I take this now and make sure I don't get stuck again, right? Because if you're repeating the same action and expecting a different result, that is the actual definition of insanity. So, what we have to do is, how did you get stuck? What happened in your business? Some people hire consultants. That's great. I think, if you can do that, do that. If not, then, build up to that, because a consultant in your business will help you, grow your business. Now, at the end of the, in the beginning though, to where, you're identifying, like, how did you get stuck? It's real simple. Like, what action caused that? I wasn't paying attention. Okay. You're driving down the road, wasn't paying attention. Okay. So always pay attention. Don't look at your phone. Like, that's hard. Don't look at it. It's going to be there when you get to your destination, right? And the same thing within your business. Like, if you were going on 17 appointments and not closing a deal, then why are you going on 17 appointments?
Right.
Right. How about, no, I got time for 2 appointments today, and I'm going to make one of those 2 appointments work. I mean, I'm going to put everything in. I'm going to buy all in to your business and get one of those 2 appointments to convert or to take action. And if you have that mindset, like, it will convert, because, people buy from people that are confident, not from, individuals that are overwhelmed or scattered. So sometimes it's like dialing that down so that then you can apply, AI to dial it back up, right? You have to go backwards a little bit to go forwards. So.
Right. But that's the other point too with Connextion is the support, the support that you guys are giving though. Like, once because again, it goes back to, because you can feel more scattered and more overwhelmed when you're changing systems, right? Somebody gets in, they're changing from one CRM to another CRM or whatever system to another system. That's overwhelming because, oh my gosh, I have to learn this whole new system now. But with your success calls, right?
Unlearn. Yeah, you have to unlearn what you learned, and again, it wasn't incorrect. It wasn't like what you learned was wrong. It's just different. Different, the unlearning, and then comparison is never good. It's never good. Like, so this is one thing when people switch systems, they're like, oh, well, the other one did this. Like, okay. You know what I mean? No, it did it that way, but here's what we know is, like, the 9 other things are far more important than the one little cool bells and whistles that other system may have done for you. But that's their hook.
Right.
Like, when you see them behind the curtain, and you know what I mean, you just know. Like, when we get on calls and people are like, so I always ask the question, this is kind of funny, just like I think in any sales approach, don't ask them what they don't like, ask them what they like about something. What do you like about that? If you want a listing presentation and you're the 3rd runner up, well, we already talked to 2 other people. Oh, great. What'd you like about them? And just don't say nothing. They'll talk to you, and say, oh yeah, that's great. Yeah. A lot of people say that. A lot of rookies say that, I mean, but really you're getting told the story. Allow, the biggest thing in a customer journey, especially if they're coming from a current system, is you have to allow them to tell you the story. Like, again, back to the small pan. Tell me the story. Like, I got to know, okay, now what don't you like about it? Tell me what you like about it. Oh, and then they say, oh, nothing. No, there's something you like about it. What is it? You know what I mean?
Right.
Because if you didn't like anything about this system, I don't know you at all, but I know you well enough to know you would have switched sooner. Right. And, people will tell you, like, oh, well, I do kind of like this part and this part. It's pretty good. But I don't like this and this and this. And so what we did was we got an explanation. Well, how did this come about? How long have you had it? What have you been doing? What are some of the cool features that, you're taking advantage of now? So the other thing is knowing. So when we work with a client, we also have to know that platform that they're on. Okay. Because now we're going to start asking questions. and we're going to say, well, hey, so how many emails do you send out a month? None. Oh, okay. So do you text message your customers in through the platform? No. Now, could be a couple things that they might not be apprehensive to embrace that technology, or they might not have ever been told that they're able to do so. Right? So these are some identifiers that really help in all business practices. It comes down to this: ask questions.
Yeah.
Don't give solutions, just ask questions. Keep asking questions. It's like a reverse interview. Make them feel comfortable to tell you, and you got to display the confidence to just say. Sometimes it comes down to this. I was talking with one of our clients the other day. We were on the phone, and Jimmy, if you ask me a question, about whatever, you say, can it do this? Right?
Yep.
Yes. That's it. Like, don't over explain. Don't get me now. Don't get me wrong. When we're talking in depth, we're going to have those conversations. But in the very beginning, during a meeting, and this applies to any type of sales tactic, is if you ask me a question, yes.
Yeah.
The next best answer is, I don't know. I got to look into that. I'll get back to you.
Right.
It's never enough.
Yeah. Can Connextion help fix my business?
Yes.
Simple. Yeah. And because of there's so many things to it. That's the other thing. There's because you cater this to whatever like the person wants.
Yeah.
This isn't an off the shelf like plug and play like system, right? This is not a, you tailor it for what I'm looking for.
Correct. We have that. So like if they just want something off, a business in a box solution, then here you go.
Sure.
But if I'd like it to say this word. Yeah, okay. They're like, you can, yes. Now we've been asked a few questions, and people will tell me like, I don't know. I have to look into that.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Both are good. But when we start using words like no, or we say, what it does is it does this, this, and this. Now, if they ask a pointed question because they're already your customer, already your client, that's a whole different. Then you need to have an explanation. Right. But when it's new and it's unknown, you have to be able to say yes. Let me check. And then the other thing is following up. So believe it or not, when I eat at my own restaurant, and that's another big thing. Like you meet a restaurant owner, and it's like, hey, so what do you like here? I really don't eat here.
Right.
Okay, that's a little awkward. So in business, says, well, Justin, how do you do all this stuff? Connection. Yeah. We just keep using Connextion, and we believe in eating at our own restaurant. And it's not just myself, but I have a team, and they're smarter than me, and that's the point. Yep. And so that's the goal. Like, just get
who you surround yourself with matters.
It's a big deal. Someone said, show me your friends and I'll show you your future. Yep. He said some other colorful commentary with that, but hey, it was a good statement, and it's true. So surround yourself with people that are like-minded, that want to grow in business, and that also leads into the AI sector as well. Like, you need to identify like what type of personality you are, right? And Ryan Marsh with Renovations Now, he mentioned. Which is a great company, by the way, Renovations Now. So, but he mentioned, stabilizers. So there's different types of personality traits, and now all of them have, pros and what we call cons, or areas of improvement. So I think it's important for us as business owners, as entrepreneurs, to identify so that you can utilize AI to do that, and then it can help you grow and advance in that business lane. Because if you are a stabilizer, and that's good, especially when it comes to certain types of negotiations. And we talked about this, I think, prior on another call, was like, people think extrovert is the way to go. Actually, introvert will close more deals because they're more apt to listening.
Right. Because there's levels to it. Right? Yes. And probably the best are the extroverted introverts.
what we like to call, so I like to label myself as an outgoing introvert because believe it or not, I'm probably going to go take a nap after this podcast. I'm kidding. It's too
sort
of. Mentally, I'll be driving, mentally napping. No. But yeah, it's a real thing. And I think that there was someone that put together this AI, training with the human emotion. Oh, that's right. Jimmy Nelson. He put together a great segue there to where, it'll really help identify those areas because that does matter. Don't overlook it. Now, don't read too far into it, but don't overlook it and help it apply to yourself to help make your life easier, because now that you're out of chaos and you do need consistency and, to be proactive, not reactive to things, it'll really help identify that.
Yeah, that's one of the things that again, thanks for bringing that up. But that emotional intelligence, I've always been big on emotional intelligence. Through my whole career, I've been big on, because we can't always control what happens to us.
No, we can't. We have no control.
We can only control how we react to those things.
Correct.
Right. And if we're not emotionally, again, because our business is up and down. It's a market condition, right? Sometimes houses are selling faster, sometimes they're selling slower, right? So our emotional intelligence has to be very high. And if you don't know, again, if you're a stabilizer, right, whatever disc profile you're looking at, whatever personality test is telling you what it is, but it's good to be in touch with those things, because then it goes back to what systems I'm using, right? Because that system makes sense for how I feel and how I react to things.
And that matters more than what happened to you.
Correct.
Because things are going to happen to us. There's things that happen to me every day, but I'm still 100%, and this is the accountability portion. I am 100% accountable and in control of how I react.
Yeah.
Also human, but that's the challenge. So it's not about, oh man, how I can laugh with the best of them. Okay. But can I choose not to react in a manner that I may have to apologize for later? Right. So I'm big on I'm big on not apologizing. Not that I won't apologize. I'm big on not putting myself in a situation where I don't have to apologize, by saying, no, we have to be proactive. So I feel like in the development of things, it's like you don't become too apologetic. Put yourself in an accountability standpoint for your emotional intelligence to say, how can I prevent from putting myself in that position to have to apologize to a client or a situation that didn't go right? And when you do that, and then you can help identify those areas, you'll find you have a lot more peace.
Yeah.
If I know there's a problem, the first thing I'm going to do is say, hey, we identified a problem, we're resolving it. You don't need to worry about it. But if you see it, just know we're taking care of it.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh my God, like you said that out loud? Like, yeah, we did. Because no one bats 1,000. So, but what the client facing side wants is they want someone that's confident and who's going to be accountable and deliver on that. And when you can control that, and you can't control what a problem occurred, and everyone's like, oh, how are they going to act? Now we start projecting. We start, right. Oh, they're going to be mad. Did they say they're mad? Did they get mad? Well, that's projecting. We don't want to do that. We want to, so now, like if you go into it making it sound like a bad idea, they're going to think it's a bad idea, so.
That's why we always start with great news.
Great news. Yeah. Great question. Yeah. Great news. Great question. So
everything's great.
Everything's great. We're going to, but it really is though. You're not, that's not a false statement. It is great because you have the confidence that you're in control to resolve the problem. Why have this buildup? And people get energy from negativity, so you gotta be a little careful with that. But and they get energy from positivity. But so it's fine. But that's really what occurs. So when you see things that are going where people kind of always kind of inch to that negative side, that's where you're getting energy from. So you got to be a little cautious of that. You got to help yourself retrain, how you receive that energy, and why are you always going down the path of worst case scenario? Like that does you no good to do that. When you do that, you're forgetting the fact of, hey, there's a path forward here. that if we just row a little harder and a little farther, we'll get to calm water.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's just on the other side of one or two things. It's
Yeah,
not it's
it
not as
always.
it's not as far away as you think it is. It's just on the other side of a couple things. And
Yep.
typically it is straightening out chaos. Typically it is a system, a process of just fixing one or two things.
Invest in yourself, and connection is great, but invest in yourself first. And what does that look like? You have to be a healthier you have to do healthy things that are going to add value back to you and your business, and take that initial step, roll a little harder, roll a little farther, and you're going to get there, right? It just is. Now, what happens more often than not is the projecting, the false belief, to saying I can't do this or I can't because of that person. That's not accurate. So don't tell yourself that, because it's just you're telling yourself false statements. You're lying to yourself. Don't do that. We've all done it. This isn't a judgment, but we've all done it. So let's have some encouragement, and let's use AI and that emotional intelligence to help encourage us. I mean, I know people that have applied AI in their life and are doing things that they never thought were possible.
Mm.
And I'm not talking just like I'm talking like little to us. It's like when into people in industry, you look at like, well, that's not that big of a thing, but to them, it was huge, right? It was that they've never done. They've never had confidence. I'll just say it like, so, well, how do you get confidence? We got to be around more people.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't start out being able to go on and talk to people and act like if I portray confidence to someone, that didn't just happen yesterday. Now, some people are born with it. That's awesome. I call them lucky. I was not one of those lucky people. We had to build up to this. So, but it's, if I would have avoided that years ago and been like, no, I can't do that. What are they going to think? No, they're not. Just talk, know your facts. Don't overthink them, but portray yourself in a lane of positivity is really what it comes down to. When you're a positive person and you're going to, like you said, hey, great news, right? That's the first thing you went to is great news. So, and anything in your life, when you start applying the systems and processes to your business, it has to start with that foundation of, this is going to be great. We're going to make it great. We're not going to stop until it's great. And we're going to do great things, right? Instead of like, oh man, we got to switch systems. It looks a little different. To be transparent, you're probably just not ready yet. The pain has not gotten, you must have a high pain tolerance. You know what I mean? And again, I'll share this in some scenarios. We say like, hey, you know what? In life, you can have a high pain tolerance. In business, keep that pain tolerance low.
Right.
Because if you go out of business with a high pain tolerance, okay, you need to keep your pain tolerance low. So it's like, hey, we have to do something about this. We have to fix this. My pain tolerance in my business is like a 1.5. Now, real life, if I grab the cast iron skillet when I'm cooking, didn't feel good, but I'm not going to complain about it, right? I'm not going to, but in business, keep it low.
Yeah. Yeah. It's important. And because it's hard enough as it is.
Yes.
Right. It's hard enough as it is. It's hard enough to keep it going. And one of the things that's really changed my business with Connextion too, though, is the automation.
Yes.
Right. I can just do stuff, take an hour or two a week, set up everything I need to set up, and it just does it.
It does it behind the scenes. And you probably have forgotten some of the stuff that it's doing.
It has. It's done that. Yeah, it's done that. I get a text message and they're like, "Oh, thanks, sir." I'm like, "Oh crap, I forgot how those text messages were coming out today." You know what I mean? Like,
so this is pretty funny, right? So the 30-second rundown is, I'll be on a call, and I enjoy these calls, but I'll be on a call and the person's like, 3 people called me and they said that it was great hearing from me, and I have not sent them anything in a year and a half. And I'm like, yeah, that was a system. And you see how it worked with 3? Now imagine we dial that in even more, right? Yeah. So it's until you do it, until you experience it. Now you're going to have stops. You're going to have people say, but they weren't going to buy it anyway.
Yeah.
And there's an old statement. I did not come up with it, but I like using it. And it's SW, SW, SWN. What it stands for is some will, some won't. So what next?
I like
So when
that.
when you're in your sales business, when you're in business, some will buy from you, some won't buy from you. So what? Next customer. Because
So
I can't focus on who won't buy from me. I have to be dedicated to the people that are buying from me. I have to be their advocate. I have to pour myself into that. So I can't waste time on why didn't they want to buy from me? Okay, that's cool. Great. Hey, we're still friends. We'll talk. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, so what? Next.
yeah, and it's funny because I said, so you brought that up. SW. What was the
And
last one? N.
November.
So I've been trying to come up with like I guests that I have on,
Mhm.
will drop these knowledge pieces, right? And I think I want to come up with a T-shirt line.
Okay.
So like what that'll be a T-shirt. SWN. That'll be
I like
it. There'll be an explanation behind it.
I
I had another one give me one.
ask. They'll see it, be like, what is that? Like, what?
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. What was the one I had? Somebody give me that's what I was looking for. Oh, Alexis Carrera was on, and
Okay.
hers was be nice.
Yes.
That was it. That was it. I'm like, it's a great T-shirt. Just be nice. Like that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we have SWN.
Well, I shared a video. It was like Nick Saban, and he goes, "It's nice to be important, but he goes, it's more important to be nice."
Mm.
You know what I mean? And that's Nick Saban. So whether you
Yeah.
know, I mean, I don't know. I think you have
I got a
stronger
billion Nick Saban
connection with
quotes.
Nick Saban than most people. Roll Tide, you know.
Yeah.
But no, it's true. And he made another statement similar to that, where it's like the people that you meet on the way up will be the same people that you may see on the way down.
Yep.
And never forget that in life. So if I see someone, I'll look them right in the eye and say, "Good to see you." I won't ask them how they're doing necessarily, because that could be a loaded question, but I'll say, "Good to see you." You know
Yeah.
what I mean? If
Yep.
I'm in a hurry to get to my car because it's cold, I'll say, "Good to see you," and I'll just keep walking. But be nice to people, be courteous, and we got to try to do good things. And I think that with AI and utilizing it effectively, and I have some freemiums myself that like with the create method and stuff like that, that when applied and when used effectively, have a lot of positive impact on the business owner. So.
Yeah. Yeah. And everybody can find you. Yourconnection.com has been running at the bottom the whole time. The connection logo is above you. And so where can everybody find Justin?
Oh, that's well, if you're in Metro Detroit, I'm somewhere around either at a restaurant or I'm home cooking. But no, so Facebook, I'm on all of them: Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, and I gotta keep up with that. I got everything in Connextion. But
as do I,
yeah,
my friend.
Facebook Messenger, Instagram, text message, email, Justin.Barton at yourconnection.com works really well. And we have a few AIs in there too, but I try to be personal when people reach out as well. Even though we have virtual receptionists and AI voice and all these things, we try to make sure that people are talking to the real me when they're talking. So
That's right. That's right. And what's on the horizon for Connection? What's the next big thing?
Well, we're launching this quarter called Building Connections, and it's a free community to any business owner that is looking for resources to help them grow and stay consistent with their business. And we see a lot of things out there, and sometimes it's just the simple things. Again, it's a simple thing: building connections. How do I get in front of more people? Well, join the community. We're going to show you how.
Yeah, I love that. And be nice.
And be nice.
Yeah, be nice. Be nice. Well, my friend, I appreciate it. Look, that hour goes quick. Yeah, that hour goes quickly. And I appreciate the time again. Connection, guys, yourconnection.com. Go out there, find it. And, you dropped some absolute knowledge bombs with us today and some absolute gold. So just want to leave you guys with this. If you're listening to this and you're ready to level up, not just your business, but your mindset, your systems, your network, your confidence, then it's time to join Elite Edge Network community and get out there. Find us. We're the findeliteedgenetwork.com. and join us. Download the podcast. Find us on YouTube. Everywhere you find podcasts is over here. And I pointed the wrong direction. I was this way, that way.
All the time I'm like this.
Yeah.
Window, you know what I mean?
But find my man Justin Barton, yourconnection.com. I will see you all next week. Talk to you guys soon.
See ya.